Hello, it's Carrie here with today's movement challenge. And today we're going to focus on giving some love for our shoulders. So as you can see here, I've got a broomstick and I just took the broom part off of it. So grab your broomstick and see if yours does come off. If not, not the end of the world. You can still do this. And I'm hoping that these moves that we do may inspire you if you enjoy some of these moves. Maybe when you have your broomstick out, you do some of these shoulder moves. So again, mostly it's going to be shoulders and upper body, but we're going to give a little bit of attention into the lower body as well. But focus is most for our shoulder love. Okay, so let's get centered into this present moment first. So just grab your broomstick in whatever way feels comfortable to you, and we don't want to draw too much attention to it at the moment. And we're going to get into our mountain pose. So get your feet hip distance apart. Think about your pelvis, your hips directly over your ankles. Open up your chest a little bit. Shoulders are over your hips. Maybe tuck in your chin a little bit, as we have that tendency to come forward a lot. So just give your little chin a tuck. Just thinking of having one straight line. And start to lengthen your breath, allowing yourself to come into this present moment, this time for you, for your body, to connect with your body, and just do a mental check-in. Kind of think, think about your whole body and just do a little check-in as you breathe here to see how are you feeling. And feel free to, if you need to, give a couple little wiggles. I know I sometimes have to do that just to get grounded in. And maybe just wiggle your toes a little bit as well so that we're not gripping into, and maybe lighten up on your broomstick a little bit. Just a couple more breaths here. Giving this time for your mind and your body to be on your mat. This is your time. Great. Okay, so let's warm up the shoulders a little bit just by doing some shoulder rolls. So I want to be really specific with our shoulder rolls. So come straight up and then straight back, shoulder blades together, and then coming down and then forward, kind of round a little bit, and then back up. We're going slow with these moves because we're really doing a check-in with our shoulders to see how they're feeling. Nice, slow and controlled movement, really feeling each move as we come up, as we squeeze our shoulder blades together, as we push down, as we come forward and up. Now let's go the other way, coming forward and down, pressing back, opening up the chest and coming up. Nice, strong movements, and doing it again, a check-in, just tune into your body, tune into your shoulders to see what's going on, and you may get some crunch, 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 sounds, and that's all good. It's okay. All right, so just give that a little wiggle out there, trying to keep, again, that strong mountain pose, feeling still strong into our feet. So let's start to think about this broomstick a little bit more, and we're gripping on just slightly wider than shoulder distance apart, and we're just going to start to come up and down. Now when we come up, we're just coming, we don't have to be full, we're not going past, we're just kind of, you can still kind of see your hands in front. So just moving up and back down. And again, matching your inhales and exhales with your moves. So I like to inhale as I come up and exhale as I go down. So just feel free to go at your own pace. And again, just do a check-in. All right, let that go just for a moment, and I'm going to explain this next part. We are going to do that same move, but now we're going to think about pulling having some resistance, as though we're trying to pull our hands away from each other, just to get some more resistance and action within our shoulder joints. Okay, so we're going to get that grip going, and then as you go up, think about our hands are moving away from each other, and you should feel really strong as you do this. So with that action, it's all, the shoulders are activated, the arms are activated, moving up and back. So inhaling as you come up and exhaling as you go down. Let's do one more. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Awesome, let that go. Now bring the arms up and slightly back, just slightly, just again, if you're, you might be hyper flexible, you might go back a little bit more, see where it feels good for you. I want it to feel good. And now let's do that activation again, where our hands are trying to pull against each other. So get a good grip on and just pull, 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 and then relax that out. Still keeping our arms up, but let's do that again. So pulling action against each other, as though we're trying to widen our broomstick. And then release. Let's do that one more time. Pull, widen that broomstick, and release. And bring it back forward. And you should feel a lot of activity, a lot of circulation, a lot of blood flowing there. So let's do that full range of movement again, coming all the way back to where we were and going forward. And just see how that feels now that you've done that work. And you might have more movement within your arms now after doing that. Awesome. And do one more up, inhale, and exhale, let it all go. Great. Okay, so let's do a little bit of side to side action and give some love to our side body and just moving our shoulders in a different way. So, and you might want to widen your hands away from each other a little bit more. And we're going to try to keep our arms straighter. And the first couple of times you might need to readjust. And so we're just bringing the one side of the broom handle up and over, and then the opposite side comes over, and we're just going back and forth. So I exaggerated a little bit there on my last one because my upper body doesn't have to move sideways that much. But again, just stretch to your degree. Again, this should feel good, okay? We want a nice stretch. We don't want to overdo it. These moves, this is for the love of movement. We want to feel good. Great, couple more here. And again, just notice your breathing and notice if you're holding tension anywhere, like in your jaw or anything as you do these moves. And as we're doing these, have a nice little, just come forward, a nice little bend in your knees as well. I should have said that before, sorry. Okay, great. So now let's take that broomstick and we're going to bring it behind our back a little bit. And what I want you to do, okay, so it's against my low back and my forearms are on the bar. And we're just going to, there's a little bit of resistance, and I want that resistance. I want you holding right from your elbow up the whole forearm. I want to be along that line. Having a little bit of resistance, not pushing too much. We're just opening up our chest here and just sway back and forth. Maybe kind of go side to side a little bit, opening things up first before we do that active engagement again. And maybe you want to twist it a little bit. Again, whatever moves feel good. I want us to hold this a little bit. And you should feel some activation as you're holding this in your shoulders. Great, now come into stillness. And what I want you to do is I want you to push forward with both forearms against the broomstick. So, okay, so let's push, 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 push for 5, 4, you should feel a lot of activations happening in your shoulder. Let's do that again, pushing forward against it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. I particularly feel that in my right one because I've got still a bit of an issue going on in my right shoulder. It's getting better, but these kinds of exercises are what has really helped me. All right, so we're going to bring it up to our upper back here. So I just have it laying against my upper back and both of my palms against there. And again, we're just going to hold it here. I want you to open up your chest, have a nice light little bend in the knees, and maybe just go side to side as we're just holding here. We're not pushing against the bar right now. We're just holding. We feel a slight little bit of resistance. To me, these kinds of things just feel so good for my body, and it opens up my chest again from all that computer work and too much forward flexion. Moves like this for me feel really good throughout my day to give myself that little break. Yeah, just a little bit more. I want us to open things up before we get that action in. Okay, so let's come into stillness so that we can concentrate. And again, we're going to push into the bar. If it feels too much, if you got a shoulder issue and it's not feeling good, by all means, don't do it, okay? We don't want any pain. We want a nice activation. It should feel good. Okay, so we're going to push into the bar for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. And again, this is your time, so you get to choose how hard or how little you push in. Let's do that one more time. Pushing in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let that go. Awesome. How's that feeling? Now let's bring that up again. Up, and I can see both of my hands out of the corners of my eyes, so I'm not way back here. I'm slightly forward. So let's just do a nice stretch here, and let's come side to side, engaging our core. So, our pelvis is coming, we're knitting our ribs together, and our ribs are coming to, and our abs are coming toward each other. Sorry, I don't think I'm explaining that very well right now. My brain is in my shoulders, that's why. It's second nature for me to engage my core, so we'll do a separate video on things like that. All right, so just gently coming side to side. So much to discuss in some of these videos, especially when I can't see, what you're doing. Now let's hold one side. So just choose whichever side works for you and just hold and get a nice side body stretch, and maybe look up if that feels okay. And just think about opening up your chest, lowering your shoulder blades down and toward each other so that they're not creeping up to your ears. Coming back into center, and let's go to the other side. Nice side body stretch. And again, maybe look up if it feels okay. Lower your shoulder blades down and together to open up that chest up towards the sky. Coming back into center and bringing that down. Awesome. And just do a couple little shoulder rolls here. See how that's feeling for you. Awesome. Okay, just a couple more, and we're going to activate the lower body just a little bit. Straighten out my mat. So bringing your broomstick down to the ground, and knees slightly bent. It's like we're doing a half forward fold. So choose whichever hand is over top of the other. And just feel a nice stretch here right through to your underarm. And again, we're stretching out our whole spine and our low back here. And I feel it in my hamstrings too. So giving some love to our lower body as well a little bit here, as I promised. So just breathe into that. Use your breath to help melt you into the pose a little bit more. Keeping those knees just slightly bent. to protect the low back and not to hyperextend the legs. Great, let's raise up a little bit and let's switch which hand was on top. And just let your chest kind of sink towards your mat a little bit. And breathe into that. Nice big breaths. Awesome. Come back up. And let's do a wider stance. So I'm coming this way so that you can see me. I've got a nice little wide stance. And again, having that broomstick out towards us. And I want you coming in side to side. So I don't want us to come forward because we want to protect that knee. So think about your weight going backwards. Knee does not go past the toes, okay? So even maybe wiggle your toes a little bit so that you have more of the weight going back. You don't have to go far. I just want you to feel a little bit more of an inner thigh stretch. Great, just gentle little side to side action at whatever degree works for you. Awesome. You can go deep if you like, but don't feel that you have to. Just go to your degree. You might be wider out than me. Awesome. Great. And let's bring yourself back up. How are you feeling? Let's put the broomsticks down now and let's just center ourselves again and just do a little check-in to see how are our shoulders feeling now. So let's just take a few little inhales here and exhale straight through center. Inhale and exhale through center. Nice grounding and centering pose. Again, make sure you're grounded into this present moment, into your body. This is also a nice way to calm your nervous system. And let's end here with our hands on our tummy. And if it feels good to you, either just find a spot on the floor in front of you or close your eyes. And just check in with your breath. A few nice deep breaths here. One more. And just exhale, let it all go. Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope you feel good.